Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're doing a serious thought experiment. We're going to push the human body to its absolute limits by asking one heck of a question. What if your entire life, from day one, was designed to turn you into a weapon? We're about to find out what happens to your body, your mind, your very biology when you're raised for one thing and one thing only, to survive.
So, what if you were raised by Vikings? I mean, really think about it. What if, as a baby, you were dropped not into our modern world, but into the brutal, ice-cold crucible of the North? And this isn't just a question of culture or learning a new language. Oh no, we're talking about physiology. We're asking how the environment itself can literally rebuild a human being from the inside out.
All right, so your story doesn't start with a choice. It starts with a really, really bad day. This is it. This is where the person you were supposed to be disappears forever.
Okay, picture this. It's day one of your new life. You're just a kid, found on a frozen shoreline right after a Viking raid. But the warriors who find you, they don't see a victim. They see someone who survived the impossible. And in that one moment, your entire destiny shifts. They wrap you in furs, and the life you knew or could have known is just gone.
Right away, your first fight isn't with a person, it's with the planet. The bitter, sub-zero cold triggers a total system shock. I mean, your body just goes into full-on survival mode. Your heart rate plummets, your blood vessels squeeze shut, anything to keep that core temperature from dropping. It's a violent, brutal introduction to your new reality.
So your life from here on out, it unfolds along this pretty intense timeline. You go from the shock of day one to just pure survival in year one. Then you build strength, you start your real training. You hit your absolute biological prime around 25, and, well, it leads to the inevitable end. Each one of these stages is going to forge a massive change deep inside you.
Now, we're getting to the really interesting part. This is where your body stops just adapting and starts being fundamentally rewired. Bit by bit, you're being built into a living, breathing, biological weapon.
So by your first year, you've somehow made it through the winter. And diet is everything. You're not eating baby food, you're being fed raw bone marrow and straight-up high-calorie animal fat. This isn't just about getting enough calories to survive. It's about reprogramming your entire metabolism to run on the densest fuel you can possibly imagine. Your body is being built for raw power.
And the results of this upbringing are, frankly, insane. By the time you're just 5 years old, your daily life, which is basically running through waist-deep snow and lifting heavy stones for chores, it triggers this massive surge of natural growth hormones. You are already as strong as a fully grown modern adult. Your body isn't just growing, it's literally exploding with power.
And all of this is built on one core philosophy, a mantra that gets hammered into you every single day. Pain is not an excuse, pain is a teacher. This is the belief that fuels your training when it starts for real around age 10. You learn the shield wall, that axe becomes a part of your own arm, and every single ache and pain is just another lesson. But here's the thing, this change isn't just physical, it's neurological. Being exposed to that extreme cold, day in and day out, does something wild. It actively trains your vagus nerve. That's the superhighway that controls your body's stress response. And the result? Your baseline for stress, for anxiety, for fear, it drops to almost zero. I mean, you could literally face down a wolf and your pulse wouldn't even quicken. And all of that hardship, all that training, it leads us here, to the peak, the culmination of your entire life's purpose. You're not really just a human anymore. You've become something else, a perfect predator, a biological tank. At age 25, you are in your absolute prime. You're a physiological anomaly, a human machine, forged by the North. Every single system in your body has been optimized for one thing, combat and survival in the harshest place on Earth. Let's just put it in perspective. The difference between you and a modern human is, well, it's night and day. Your bone density is off the charts. Your resistance to cold is extreme. And that baseline stress we talked about, it's basically gone. You are operating on a completely different biological level. Let's talk about those bones. We're talking about a full 30%. 30% thicker and denser than the average person today. You know what that means in a fight? It means your bones just don't break. You are literally built tougher, right from the skeleton out. And all that physical power creates a totally unique state of mind. You don't see a blur of chaos and screaming on the battlefield. No. For you, the world is perceived with a strange sense of calm focus.
It's like a real-life slow-motion effect, where you can see every opening, every threat, while everyone else is just reacting. But a life lived at this kind of intensity, well, it always comes with a price. So now we turn to the final chapter. And it isn't just an ending, it's the beginning of a scientific legacy that's going to last for 1,000 years. By the time you hit 40, you've outlived almost everyone. You're a legend. You've survived dozens of battles. But this kind of life only has one exit. You fall, just like you always knew you would, in the heat of a glorious battle. It's the only honorable end for a warrior like you. The biological lock on your potential has finally turned.
And then, nothing. 1,000 years pass, the world transforms, empires rise and fall. Your longhouse is dust, your ship is gone, but you're still there, under the earth.
Now, fast forward to today. A team of archaeologists unearths your burial mound, and to them, you are a complete and total scientific puzzle. They're just baffled by your bone density. Your skeleton tells a story of extreme physical adaptation that is unlike anything they've ever seen in their textbooks.
After all the analysis, after all the tests and scans, the scientists are left with one single stunning conclusion. You weren't just a man. You were an upgraded human.
And that's what this all comes down to, right? Your story is obviously an extreme example, but it forces us to ask a really profound question. How much of our own potential, our strength, our mental toughness, our very biology, is being shaped or maybe even limited by the comfortable world we live in today? It's definitely something to think about.